It's not recording. I just started.
Okay.
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 So in Virgin, I had an interview. They were asking me, she was giving me the face-to-face interview. They were giving me a scenario. Let's say you have a text field, and you should be able to put a number only 18 to 21. How are you going to test it? See, this is actually the question she asked me. You have a text field and you should be able to put number only 18 to 21. How you will test that field? I said, okay, since there is a short range, I have 18, 19, 20, 21. So I'm going to just, this only four things, 18, 19, 20, 20, four number. So I'm going to put four number and then I'll test it. And then she looked at me, she's like, that's it. Then it clicked my brain. I said, no, right away. I said, no, I mean, that's the positive scenario, but I'm going to put like also number outside of this range. I'm going to put 17, I'm going to put 22, I'm going to put minus 18, minus 19, minus 21. And then I'm going to put character number. I'm going to leave it blank. I'm going to do all these things. Then say, oh, okay, okay. That was my question. So that's positive and negative. Positive meaning first you're going to test whatever it's supposed to work, is it working or not? And the negative meaning you're going to put those things that should not work. Like I said, I put the negative 18 positive, but I put also, I have to put negative 18 to make sure. I have to put outside of the range. I have to leave it blank. I have to put character, right? I have to put all these things. I have to put special character. Special character meaning what? Like question mark, exclamation
like question mark and stuff, right?
So those are positive and negative testing. Like I give you just real. Like I was, like I said, I answered 18, 19, 20, 21. And then you say, that's it, then it clicked my brain. Okay, so there's the negative testing you have to do.
So in that process, you also, like, in a way, you just also did boundary value testing as well, right? When you said you tested 17, then 18, 19, 20, then you did 21 also out of, like, what do you call, equivalence boundary testing as well, right?
Equivalence partitioning and boundary value analysis. Give me just 1 second, Hasan, just 1 second. Sorry, Hasan bhai, okay. So you understand this concept, positive and negative?
Yeah.
Sorry, the one I was saying, boundary value analysis. No, that's not the case. Boundary value analysis, equivalence partitioning. See, that's the thing that we need to understand. When we use this, what's the purpose of boundary value analysis?
Just to extract that, make the test data for it.
Test data, but if the test data contains only 5 number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, why do you need boundary value analysis?
Right.
Boundary value analysis purpose, if you have a big range of number, if you have 1 to 5 million, if you have 1 million to 20 million, then you cannot pick all the number. Like she gave me the scenario number 18, 19, 20, 21 is only 4 number. I'm going to pick all 4. When I use boundary value analysis or equivalence partitioning, they are the same basically. Boundary value analysis and equivalence partitioning is the same. It's like where you're picking the number from. But the purpose of this, if you have a really, really big number, if you have a range of number, let's say if she would give me, instead of 18 to 21, she give me 1 to 200. Then I cannot pick every single number today. I don't have time for this. I cannot pick 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 200. I cannot do that. I cannot put every single number to test it, right? Because I don't have time. Right. So I have to pick one number. Now, not one number. I can pick only 4, 5 number. But if I pick, let's put it this way. Let's say here, you can see my screen. Let's say I have 1 to 200, right? That's my range, right? Now, if I have 1 to 5 range, then I can pick all this number, right? It's only 5 number. It takes 5 minutes. I don't need boundary analysis or anything. But if I have 1 to 200 range or 2000 range, I cannot pick every single number to test it. There is a text field, then I need to verify where I can put number from 1 to 2000. Let's say that's the scenario. Now I can put 1, test it, then 2, then test it, then 3, then test it, then 4, then test it, up to 2000. I can do that, but do I have time? It's going to take probably 1 month for me. I don't have time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down, like say from 1 to 200, right? 2000 I have. I'm going to break it down, let's say 1 to let's say 1 to 500,
500.
and then 500, 1 to 1000, and then 1000, 1 to 1500, then 1500, 1 to 2000, right? And from here I'm going to pick any number. Let's say I'm picking 250. Here I'm picking 600. Here I'm picking 1200. Here I'm picking 1700. This 1725. So I'm testing only with 1, 2, 3, 4 number. All I have to do, I put this phone number, and then I can say, I can only predict, I can only guess, I can say, I cover all type of number. I cover small number, I cover medium number, I cover a little bit more than medium number, I cover the higher number. I cover all kinds of number. Now, if I don't follow, why did I break down like this? Why? Because if I don't follow this technique, this is a technique. I have 1 to 2000. If I do not follow this technique, if I just pick randomly any 4 number, I can pick 2, and then I can pick 5, then I can pick 10, then I pick 25. Full number, here I'm picking full number also, right? 250, 600, full number. Here I'm picking full number too. What's the difference? The difference is I'm picking only all the small number. I don't know if the bigger number works or not. Or I can pick, let's say, 1000, and then 1700, and then 1900. Now I'm picking only medium number and higher number. I don't know if it's work with small number or not, like 2, 3 or not, right? So there's the technique for this one. So don't get confused. If you have a range of big number, and from that range, if you have to pick only certain number, you cannot pick every single number. Then you use the boundary value analysis, equivalence partitioning, just to pick one number from that block, so that you can say you cover all kinds of number. That's it. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right.
No, you have to understand this, because I know I talked before. I think you guys are still confused. There's a boundary value analysis, equivalence partitioning. What's the difference? Difference is from that block, you pick any number, there's equivalence partitioning. And boundary value analysis means from that block, you pick a number from either where the block is ending or starting, right? Same thing, basically, same thing. It's like where you picking the number from. It's a technique. It's a technique, nothing but a technique. You know, nothing but a technique, this one. So do you understand? If you have a range, and range is only 5, 6, 10 numbers, you don't need anything. You just can directly put this number in there.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Or still confused?
No, the reason why I mentioned this one, because you said, let's say you said you have 4 number, which is 17, 18, 19, 20, right? So you tested with 16. That's what I think you mentioned, 16. So 16 is it's not the number, but negative and positive testing. So within that 4 number, you would test that 4 digit, but combination of positive number, negative number, also with different characters in that nature. So that's why I was like, when out of that 4 numbers, so I was thinking you did like boundary values.
No, boundary value does not mean if the range is 17 to 20, and if I pick 16, or after 20, if I put 21, that's boundary value. No, that's not boundary value. Boundary value meaning if I have a range of number, and from that range, if I pick a number from that wherever the block is starting or ending, something like that. Hold on 1 second. Can I draw a line here? I think I can draw it. Let's say I have something like that here. Okay, I think I can draw a line here. Here, okay. Now, where is the text box? I never used it.
The A button. The A button.
Where is A? Oh,
The A button over there.
okay. So here, let's say I have let's say, like I said, 1 to 2 million. I cannot see this. I think it's too small. 1 to 2 million I have. Right here, I'm gonna put here. I'm gonna put 1, and then there could be another. Let's say I'm blocking this, like breaking it down in different block. Okay, that's it. This is my block. This is 1 million, and this is 2 million. Right? Oops. This is 2 million, right? This is 2 million. Okay. Guys, try to understand. This is very important to understand. Otherwise, you never. The problem is you never can explain this thing. If you don't understand, you cannot explain this thing. So I'm breaking it down. Now this is the middle, right? So this one should be 1.5 million, right? This is the middle. And here, let's say what it should be. I think 7.5, right? 7,500, right? Something like that, right? And then what is this? It should be what? 1.1725 something, whatever. I don't know. What I'm trying to do is, first I'm breaking it out. Is why is 1.5? Sorry, this should be 1 million, right? Oops, made a mistake. Sorry guys, this is, I don't know why I put 1.5. How to get rid of this thing? This is not 1.
It should be 1 million.
It should be 1. 1 million. I don't know why I put 1.
Do it with the cursor. There is a cursor icon over there.
Here, this one. I never read.
Yeah. Click on the 1.5 and then you can.
This is for 3 million. Okay, that will make it problem. So this is 3 million. 1 million to 3 million, and this is half 1.5 million. This is half of 1.5. Now from each block, this is one block. This is another block. This is another 1, 2, 3, 4 block I have. Right. So from each block, I'm going to pick one number.
Right.
From anywhere. So I can pick a number. Let's say from here, this one, and from here another number, or here another number, and here another number. Any number.
So the reason behind it is to say, like, we pick every number from every group.
Right. Every group, like different. Every group contain different set of data, right? Different set. Right. One is small, really small. One is medium, one is little bit more than medium, one is very high, right? Or here I can pick a number also, like from here instead, right? From here if you want, like not from middle, from the where the started or ending, right? Here. This is boundary value analysis. This is equivalence partitioning. Equivalence partitioning you have to do anyway. First you have to equivalence partitioning. Equi means equal. Balance partitioning means you have to partition it equally. That's the first thing you need to do. And then while you're picking the number is called either you picking from anywhere from the middle or from the where it is starting or ending. That's the difference. Make sense?
Yeah.
So this equivalence partitioning or boundary value analysis is mostly whenever you bigger number, like a range of number, and you are not able to put every single number, then you implement equivalence partitioning. Don't forget about boundary value analysis. Don't even mention it. If they ask you, then you tell them. Otherwise, don't mention. Just mention equivalence partitioning. I use equivalence partitioning technique. Tell them like this. I use equivalence partitioning technique. If I have a bigger number of, if I have a range of number, let's say 1 to 5 million, I break it down in 5 blocks. 1 to, let's say 0 to 1 million, 1 to 2 million, 2 to 3 million, 3 to 4 million, 4 to 5 million. I have 5 blocks. Now from each block, I just pick any number randomly so that I can say I cover all kinds of number. That's boundary value analysis. Done?
So,
I mean equivalence partitioning.
so in this scenario, we pick from 1 to 750,000. So any number in between.
Yes. Yes.
To validate this 1 to 1.700,000.
Yeah.
Then from 750,000 to 1.5 million, we pick any number between that, and okay, so on.
Makes sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
equivalence partitioning. Don't forget about balance boundary value analysis. Okay. Equivalence partitioning. Yes,
I will say, and like I will tell you, and then you need to tell me if I'm correct or not. So, like, let's say if it's a range of 1 to 100, okay.
Yeah.
In equivalence partitioning, we divided it like with different parts. So, like, it will be 1 to 25. That one group. 25 to 50, that's one group. Then 50 to 75, one group, and 75 to 100, another group. Now we are picking up the data from between those groups. So like 1 to 25, we choose one value. Then 25 to 50, we choose one value, like that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this equivalence partitioning, because we partition the data in equal parts. Okay, that's one thing. And then we are picking the values from it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if we are taking it as a boundary value analysis, then boundary value analysis have like a different thing. So like we create boundaries in it. So like, let's say 1 to 100 is it's a boundary. So if whatever we are picking from inside, that's inside boundary. And if you're picking anything from a different way, like just to do like negative testing, you can say that. So let's say if you're picking anything outside, like after 100, 150, or minus 100, like that. So it will be like the boundary values analysis, so in which we have inside boundary and outside boundary.
Yes. Right? Yes. What happened is the reason we mentioned also boundary value analysis. Let's say here equivalence partitioning, right? You have we partition is like this, right? This is one partition. We partition is like this, right? Now, if I pick, let's say if I pick one number, let's say from here. Let's say I'm picking one number from here, right? From here, I'm picking one number, and the next number. Well, I picked this one. Why is not okay, sorry. Let's say I pick one number from here, right? Right here, the beginning, right? The beginning, I pick this number here, right here, right? One second, guys. Let me just... Okay. Let's say I pick a number from right here, the beginning, right? And then this is one block. This is one block I pick. Now I'm going to pick another number, let's say from here, right? I pick one number from here. So if you realize this is a big gap here, right? Big. You from the first one, you picking a number from right here, and then second one you are picking the last of the block. Second block all the way last, at the first block all the way beginning. So there is a big gap of number. So to control that, we also have another technique called boundary value analysis. To control that, what does that mean? To control that, meaning if you pick for the first block, if you pick a number from the beginning, then for the next block, also pick from the beginning, not from the end, from the beginning of each block. So to follow the pattern, if you pick from the beginning, then pick from the beginning. If you pick from the end, then pick from the end. Just for the pattern. Because like I said, you can pick any number from the block, but you can pick from the beginning here. For this one, you're picking from the beginning. Here, you're picking from the end. You are correct. You are picking from the block. You are inside the block. But then if you realize in reality, there is a big gap in there, right? Really big gap in here, right? Really big gap, right? So that's why to control that, boundary value analysis, boundary, meaning if you pick the number from the boundary, from boundary here, pick it from boundary here to pick it from the boundary here too. If you pick from like a boundary below, right? Now, if you pick from the middle, then pick everything from the middle. Sorry, pick everything from the middle. Okay, everything from the middle. That's all it means. That's all it means. If you pick from the middle, pick from the middle. If you pick from the boundary, pick from the boundary. If you pick from the beginning, pick from the beginning. Okay, that's all it means. Understand?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if we only time we use this technique if we have a range of number and we have to pick a number from the range. We are not able to put every single test data. In that case, we only use that. It's a technique, right?
Yes.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What else? What other question?
I know you mentioned the other week about the source to target testing. I mean source minus the target, right?
Yes.
So source minus target, we can test that only if the data, I mean the table is in same database.
Yes.
Or if it is in different database, we cannot do it, right? Can you
actually we can. It's not that we cannot do it. It's not that we cannot. We usually don't. We can do it using that DB link. There is a feature called DB link. You can connect different database and pull the data from one database to another database. You can do that, but we don't usually do it. What we do, we actually extract the data in a text file, and then that text file we import it in the database using an external table, and then from the table we can query the data and then validate it. Source to target usually. And now another thing is our scenario, if you realize we have source, staging, and then target, right? Now this database is reside usually in one database, usually. Okay, so we can easily write query and validate. Now if it's in different database, we extract the database in Excel in a text file, and then that text file we create an external table in the same database where the target is, and then we compare. Okay, make sense?
For tests that they allow you to do that, Aribhai, to create that target table.
Not target table, source table. In your schema you can do that. Yeah.
In your schema.
Yeah, it's become different.
But sometimes you don't have the source. What about you don't have the source file? Then you're not comparing. Okay.
No. You have to have the source data. If you do not have the source file, then they will be source table. They will give you source data. They will give you. They will give you. So it doesn't matter how. Now, if it is a text file, you have to import the text file in the database, so then you can query. If you have a database, not a text file, it's a table, then you can query directly from the table. Like right now, I'm testing an XML file. They gave me an XML file. I have to import the XML file in the database, and then I use XQuery to query that table and then compare with the target. There is no table. They gave me XML file. So I have to use XPath and XQuery. Yeah.
So, okay, so it's a good example for me to understand. So here you got the XML file, which has the data, right?
Yeah.
Now you have already developer what do you call put the data in the target table. So you, based on looking at the target table, what are the columns, then you create a table from the XML, and then you compare from that table, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I import the XML file. It's a file in the database. I import them, right? So I have a table. Now XML file, you cannot regular query like this. Select all from this table. You can do that. You have to use XQuery. There's another language, programming language, XQuery, XPath. So I have to query on that X query, using the X query, the XML file, and then I have to write similar query on the target table. Then I have to compare.
That's what I was about to ask you. Like, if you do a practical example for the how to extract or get the data from an XML file.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they ask us, like in an interview, that if you have any experience related to that or not.
Yeah, Said bhai, I do have plan too. That definitely I'll show you. It's not nothing that complicated. I'll show you. Okay.
Yeah, I understand that it will be like.
Yeah, of course. I will
We-
show you with the Excel, with this CSV file, XML file. I'll show you those. Okay. I have planned,
Okay.
but I just want you
Perfect.
to, like, those are the necessary, those are the extra thing that you will be needing as an ETL tester. Actually, this is the thing that you will need to know how to load the file, and then how to follow going forward. I'll show you those things definitely. Okay. I have those things planned. Okay, don't worry. That thing I have to show you, but not right now. But in future, I'll show you. Okay.
But Arif bhai, that's not to be confused, because okay, now in the interview question, if the scenario comes up like what you just explained to me, right?
Yeah.
Explain to us that XML file you import to the target table, and from that you validate the table or compare the table.
Yeah.
Now, as a tester, do I need any sort of tools to do that? Like any kind of like ETL tool to do that, perform that task?
ETL tool you do not need. Okay, you do not need ETL tool. What you need is in backload. It's called backload. In a SQL command, there is a utility in SQL command. Using that, you can load it. There is another tool in Oracle. It's called SQL Loader. Okay, that is very popular. SQL Loader is very popular. SQL Loader, I'll show you. Using the SQL Loader, you can upload the whole text file in the database, and then from the database, you can query, regular query, external table creating, all these things. I'll show you all these things, like I said.
But I wouldn't know the answer, like because in this scenario I wouldn't know like how to do that. As a, like experienced somebody like you gonna ask me, okay, so how do you? They want to know how do you import this
Of course.
data,
Of
right?
course.
I wouldn't know that, and you wouldn't know that this guy he doesn't know what he's talking about.
No, these
Right?
things definitely I'll show you.
Like to know, like make sure I mean, not the practical, but at least I know theoretical, like what you use to import this data.
No,
in there.
Hassan bhai, this thing is 100% thing is practical. If I tell you 3 hours, it does talk about
Right.
doesn't make any sense. If I show you 5 minutes, you'll understand this. It's not that any complicated thing. It's just advanced level thing. I just don't want you to get confused too much. Want you to concentrate on something that we need right now. And then, as I told you already, going forward, every week, whenever we'll class, I'll introduce. These are the things that actually I'll show you. Those are the things, like so how to load file, and then from the load, how to extract. Let's say for extracting the data in, let's say if an XML file, if you load the file in the database, now you can extract the value from the XML file and put them in the column, each column. Okay, it's called XPath. There's another programming language. XPath is a programming language. Okay, those are the things that I'll show you going forward. Okay, now if I dump you everything right now, you'll be more.
That's like the conversation came up because of
No. Those I also, like I said, I'll definitely show you. Those are the things I do have plan. Hold on 1 second, because 1 second. You guys see this? Let me just make it bigger. See this XML command utility?
Yeah.
See this XML loader? See this backload? I'll show you those things. This is kind of advanced level thing, okay? See this batch processing also. You have to write like batch file to do that. Those are the things I'll show you. It's not complicated. It's not. It's more of a practical thing, you know. And you have to practice a lot. If I show you in half an hour, then you have to practice probably 3 hours. Okay. So I have planned those things just to let you know. Don't get that I'll skip. I'll skip this. No, I need as a ETL tester. You have to know this. You have to know how to load a file, and from that file how to extract the data, how to put them in column rows, and not only put. Let's say in text file you have a column with date, but when you load the file it could be converted as a varchar. Then you cannot use any date function on that column, because that not is a date function will not work there because it's a varchar column, right? So we need to convert those column also. Data conversion, you know, those are the things I'll show you. Okay, just concentrate on those things that make sure 100% you know what I'm like talking right now. Whatever I did, whatever I'm doing, just make sure you understand. Is very important because I'm going to cover all these things that you need. Okay, SQL plus also some commerce. There's a TNS file that you need to directly connect. Like say database, how do I connect? Let's see here. Look, see database. One second. Let's say this is my database. Where is the connection? One second. Properties. See the database. See all these things that you connect here, right? That's the properties of the database, right? This connection, you have to do in SQL plus directly from a code. You will not have that. If you run a batch file, automate, then you will not be using SQL developer. This thing, this graphical thing, you will not be using. SQL loader, you know, not be using this. This is a command line utility, command line. So how you can use this? So you have to directly connect from a batch file. Just click a button or run it from the command line. You have to run it from there. So I'll show you those things. It's important. It's like you need to know this thing. You will be doing it as a ETL tester. You need to do this. Okay, so I'll show you. Don't worry about this thing. Any other question? Any question? Please write this down. What are the DDL, DML, DCL, DCL? Okay, what is this? Tell me.
Data definition language.
Data
language, data control language,
and transaction control language.
Okay, what are the DDL? What are those DDL?
DDL,
data definition. What are those?
Definition.
Very important.
All right. So sometimes like it's.
They ask you in the interview. They ask you in the interview, and sometimes even they do not ask you in the interview. You have to mention it somewhere when you talk. Let's say explicit comment and implicit comment. If they ask you, then you have to mention this thing, and then they might ask you, what is DDL? What is DDL? Give me an example. Okay, so this thing is very important. I talked at the beginning of it.
It's create. 1 second. Like create, alter, delete, and rename. So these are the commands through which we define the database or do the stuff like.
Not delete. That's the first thing I like to mention. Not delete though. Okay. Delete is not DDL.
DML.
Okay.
Data manipulation.
Anything like through which we manipulate the data, like select, insert,
update,
delete, update. These are the DML. Merge.
So whenever you create the structure of the table, structure of any object in the database, right? That's DDL, right? Yeah. You are creating the object. You are creating the object. You are renaming the object. You are altering the object. The structure of the building, right? Structure of the block, right? There's DDL, data definition. You define the database. And then whenever you manipulate the data, You are manipulating, meaning you are changing. You are inserting, you are selecting means you want to see, inserting, updating, right? And then deleting. Merge is a command that you can do delete and update together. Okay. That actually, just to let you know, that is a DML, but we don't use it. We can use it, but we don't use it. And DCL, data control, what is that?
Commit.
No.
I mean, grant and
Data control.
Grant revoke, yeah. So
you are
controlling
giving access to data.
controlling the data.
You are giving data control. You are giving access or taking access away. And transaction control is what?
commit and rollback.
Another one is save point.
Yeah.
Save point, I mean, we don't use it. Another save point. Save point, we don't use it. But anyway, so those are the things you need to know. They will ask you what is DML, what is DDL, what is TCL, what is DCL. They will ask you in the interview. If they do not ask you, you need to mention it. You need to mention wherever possible so that they know you know this. Like in the interview, actually, we need to show them that I know enough to do your job, right? That's the whole thing. And to show them that I have enough knowledge about the database. So I'll always try to look for an opportunity where I can tell them how much I know. So if I have a question, that I can use this word, then I have to use this word. And then they might ask you, what is this? So I need to know what is this also. Right? So please memorize it. And another thing, guys, since the beginning, as I told you, you need to create index card. Without creating index card, you will never be able to learn all these things or memorizing it or continue like knowing this thing. You'll forget. You have to take note, and then from that note, you have to create index card. Trust me, I can only tell you how you can learn it. That's the only thing I can tell you. If you don't follow that, you will realize eventually. You need to create index card for this one. For not for only this, for all these things. Let's say SDLC steps. They will ask you in the interview. You need to put in an index card. So let's say defect status. What are the defect statuses? Or requirement coverage, right? We have the coverage status in requirement. Those are the simple thing, very simple thing, but you will forget eventually. It's very simple to forget. What are the requirement coverage, direct coverage status in the requirement module? Whenever we have test cases, we can connect them, right? Once we connect them, there is a coverage status status in the requirement module. That is called coverage status. What are those coverage? Hassan bhai, tell me. You are in the market. What are the requirement coverage status?
Parents and child.
What is that? Parent
and child requirement cover?
No. On the requirement module, right? Whenever you connect requirement, you connecting with the test case, and then test case you connecting with the test lab, right? It's automatic connection. Test lab you connecting with the defect if there is any. So you're connecting all these things. So if you connect all these things on the requirement module, there is a column in the requirement. It says requirement coverage, right?
What's this coverage status? Coverage status.
Yes. What are the status? Like it's covered, not covered, not
covered,
fail, pass, remember?
Fail, pass, right.
Those are the things that I said, but you forget. You studied, but you forget. And the reason you forget is because you don't. You have to follow a system to learn certain things. Everything to learn, you have to follow certain system, right? Let's say for learning a language, if you take notes, you will never be able to learn anything unless you speak, right? Unless you speak, you'll never be able to learn it in language. So same thing, everything has a system to learn. This thing I told you since the beginning, all of you, I told everybody, you have to create index card. That's not an option. You must have two things you have to do. First, you have to have a notebook for each topic. SDLC, ALM, database, project, questions, and data warehouse. All of these things you have to 5-6 notebook. That's different. Anything and everything you do, you have to do on that specific notebook. That's the first thing. Second thing, you have to create index card randomly. Like whenever you learn something, you just put it in the index card. Anything that you need to memorize, anything that you need to memorize, not concept-wise understanding, no, memorization, not explanation, memorization. Like say, what are the SDL systems? What are the defect status? Those are the things. What are the modules in ALM? What are the modules in ALM? What are the modules we work in ALM? You know, like say a few column name in defect, like say, in the defect, when you open defect, we have few things that mandatory, the red mark, right? Priority, severity, assignee, right? Those are few things that we need to do, like say regeneration step and everything. Write those things down. I told you in the beginning, without that, trust me, you will not do good in the interview. Now, some people get a job, maybe doesn't know a lot less than you guys, but it does not mean that you will do. Sometimes happens, I have interview in ETL, they did not ask me anything else except database question. Nothing, no SDLC question, no database, no Unix question, no ALM, nothing, only database they asked me. Not even a single question. I had interview like that, but not all of them. Some interview they ask a lot in Unix. Some interview they ask a lot about SDLC in ALM, the testing tool. So one of the interview they asked me a lot of question on SharePoint. It was the ETL testing interview. They asked me a lot of question on SharePoint. SharePoint you use, but it's very simple thing. We just put the information in there and then check out, check in. Basically, that's it. But they asked me a lot of questions. What are you going to do? So that's what I'm saying. You don't know what kind of question they will ask you, but certain things we need to memorize. Okay, we need to memorize certain things. And the only way you can memorize those things is using index card. Trust me, without index card, nothing is going to happen. Without index card, nothing is going to happen. Okay, please do that. Since the beginning, I told you, create separate. It's not only this interview. I have one guy in our job right now. He has been working there 3 years, and then now December his job is expiring. He's looking for a job. He's very scared, very nervous. He doesn't know anything. He forgot. Because at the manual tester, what you do is you know the project very well, and you know the ALM basically, and all the definition and all of the Unix code or SDLC definition kind of thing. You forgot. How are you going to remember those things? So the only way, if you learn it initially in a proper way, you have notebook, you have index card, and then you can review it in 1 week. You can review everything, and it will be fresh, brand new, with all this knowledge. So trust me, it's going to help you rest of your life. If you prepare it now, once you get a job, you are not going to sit down and write a notebook. You are not going to put it in the index card. Trust me, you will not. It's simple, right? Once you get a job. So before you get a job, you have to prepare for it. So please make sure you write this in the index card. Okay. So this thing you're going to memorize. Now we did some of it. Now we see few things that we didn't do, we'll do. Okay. Let's say create, we did alter, probably, I don't know, rename, truncate, drop, we did, select, insert, few things we did, grand rebook we didn't do, commit rollback we didn't do, we do certain things. Okay. So those are the things, certain things we did, certain things we'll do. Okay. So about this, any question about this?
But initially, when I did Oracle on DDL, I think I didn't have drop as a DDL.
No, because you see, drop, if I did not put, maybe like I said, it was here we have also Mars. Okay, we don't need Mars, we don't use Mars. Is very less used thing is from the testing point of view. So probably that's why I didn't put, or maybe by mistake I didn't put, but drop I should put. I don't know why I didn't put. Drop is very common thing, we use it. If I did not put it, is a mistake, I didn't put it. Okay, but drop is important. But like say Mars, here is also another thing, comment is also as a DDL. Comment is DDL. Okay, I didn't put because it is not useful. It's used data analyst, data modeler, they use comment. Comment is used whenever you write a table and a column. Why this column is being used, you write a comment on that. That comment saves in the data dictionary. So that's why they use comment. We don't use it actually. Okay, probably that's why. But drop, if I did not put it, that's a definitely mistake from my end. I should put drop. The drop is very useful thing. Okay, So, but make sure you know this thing is super, super important. Trust me, this is super important. Like, I don't know how to explain. It's really important to memorize this thing and understand those things. Okay. But we'll cover every single of them. Every single of them we'll cover. Okay. If we did not do few things, I know that we'll do it. Any question on this?
No, Arvind.
Okay. So, okay. Sequence, another thing, sequence object, sequence. It is actually another thing that we don't use as a testing point of view, but in the interview, sometimes they ask you what is sequence. Sequence. Now see, table is an object of the database, right? Here, if you go in a database, we can see, right? We see the table. Under table, we have a lot of things, right? So sequence, another thing that we use, also being used in the database. Now, the reason we need to know, if we have a sequence of what sequence does it, it will create an unique number for you. It creates a unique number for you. Let's say whenever we buy ticket from airlines, they give you a unique number. Ticket number is never common with another person, right? Or if we have an ID number, it's never common with another thing, right? So how do you create a number that does not get duplicated? How do you do that? How it is possible? Social security number, driving license, how do you do that? It will never create a duplicate, right? So this happens from this sequence. Whenever you create a sequence, it will generate a duplicate, will generate a unique number for you.
Unique number.
Okay. So let's say I'm creating a table. Okay, very simple. Create table test 1, right? Let's say I have this. Okay, very simple thing, right? Okay, so I'm creating this table, right? Already table there. Okay, no problem. So I'm creating this table. Now I'm inserting it, right? Insert test 1 values. I'm putting, let's say 1. Okay. See, here is 1, right? So if you realize, every time is giving me 1. I'm just inserting is giving 1, 1, 1, right? So now what I can do, I can create a sequence. Sequence is object, completely separate, right? Completely separate object. What it does, it will give you a unique number. Now this thing is optional, of course. Let's not put it. Start with 1 by increment by 1.
Increment by 1.
Okay, so this is my object, right? So here, what I can do, instead of putting down sequence ID, let me create this first. Sequence is created. Now, if I insert, I'm inserting it. I'm going to go back and explain, just to let me show you first. Okay, so let me drop the table and do it again. See, now I have 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, because I'm dropping the table and creating it. That's why it's happening. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so I create this sequence. Sequence is done. Now I'm creating this table. Table is done. Now I'm inserting the value here. Inserting the value, right? So I'm inserting the value. Now if I'm selecting, it's giving me 1. Let's say I'm inserting another value. Another value and it's selecting 2. See, I have 2. Another value. Another value. See, it's giving me incremental number. Okay. So a sequence, all it does, it will never give you the same number again. Never give you the same number again. Okay. Now let's do this. I have up to 4, right? sequence up to what, if I do it again, it's giving 5, right? I'm dropping the table. I'm dropping the table, right? I'm creating the table. Now I drop the table. Now if I do this, select all, what is giving me? Nothing, because table is brand new created. Now I'm inserting the sequence. Now I should get 1, right? It's going to give me 6. Why? Because the sequence is separate than the table, right? Completely separate. Now let's do another thing, fun thing. Drop table name. Guys, is very important concept to understand, because for database testing is important. We use surrogate keys called using this sequence. Okay, there's generator. We have to test those. The primary key, we need to test those if they are duplicate or not. You know, those are the things we need to test. That's why we need to understand this concept. Create table name 2, ID 2, int. Okay, now insert into test2 values. Next value for CQ ID. Select all from test2. Guys, okay. So I'm inserting, look here. I'm inserting, I have 7 here, right? Now I'm inserting in a different table, completely different table. What is incorrect? Test2. Create.
Into is spelled wrong, Kursin. Into.
Why is into?
Number 13. Yeah, into.
No, but I'm creating the table. Cannot drop the table because it doesn't exist already. Okay, so now let's see. Creating the table, good. Inserting the data, right? Oops.
You use drop table to just to in case if that table exists.
Yes.
Test table to just
Okay.
to if it exists, you drop it.
So this table, look, this table when I insert is inserting 8. Now I'm inserting again. Okay, it's inserted 9, right? Now look here. If I do this, what I have? 7. Now I'm inserting another one, right? Another one I'm inserting. She's giving me 10. This 8 and 9 gone. What happened with 8 and 9? 8 and 9 is here, right? Different table. So what I'm trying to make a point here is this. This sequence is independent based on the table. It's not connected to the table. It's completely independent. So whoever use them, they will get a unique number. It will create a unique number. Doesn't matter where you use them. This person's job is to create a unique number. If you use this, it's going to create a unique number. If you create this, it's going to create a unique number. Now, if something is already used, let's say here I have up to 10, right? Now, if I use in this table, I'm going to get 11. Now, here, if I use this again, I'm going to get 12. See, it's keeping the number here. Why? Because this thing is independent based on the compared to the table. It's independent. It's not connected with this. Okay. Yeah, guys, can you do it quickly?
All right. Wait. So if we are using the same sequence, all right.
Yeah.
Then whichever table we will use, it will go through with that. Like let's say, so if it's going in a sequence and in the table 2 or table 3, if it used that sequence, it will not go back to that same sequence in the other table.
Right. Yes. Okay, let me show you another thing. Like say here, I'm inserting one row inserted. So I have what? I have 13, right? I have 13 here. Now, let's say I put it wrong. I put it wrong. Okay. So I put it. So what the highest number? I have 13 here, right? Now, see, my table number is wrong basically. I think I don't have anything 11. Let me just check first if I have. I don't have. Okay. So I'm putting it wrong basically, right? It's wrong. The table doesn't exist, as you can see, right? Clear? Table does not exist. invalid object name. Okay, so I put it wrong here. So now let me run this. Now before I run this again, I have here 13. That's the highest number. So I'm running it. I ran it. It says invalid object, right? It did not do anything. Now I'm running it again. It's giving me 13. Now I'm putting. See, if I do this, I did this. It was wrong. Now I'm putting the correct. It was 13. Look, it's 13. Now I'm doing it. Inserted fine. Now I'm doing it. Oops, look, what happened? Do you realize this? Giving me 14, right? It was 13. So what does that mean? It's important things to understand here. It was wrong, right? It was wrong. What does that mean? It did not insert this thing. It did not insert. It was wrong. If the query is wrong, it did not insert it, right? Make sense?
Okay.
It does not insert. Like say, if wherever you are using it, if that query is like say has a syntax error or whatever error, it does not generate the new ID. It does not. This is what I'm trying to make say. Although you might say, oh, I have a wrong here. I don't have a wrong here. It should generate. It did not generate. Make sense or no?
I'll repeat it again one more time, please.
No, what I'm saying is, here if I do this, I'm generating something, right? Generating new number. This does not generate a new number. This part generates new number. Do I have anything wrong here? No. I have wrong here, right here. I have wrong, right? So if I do this, if I insert a number somewhere, does not exist. But if I do this, I have 14 here, right? I have 14. I have 14. Now I'm doing this. It should generate 15 because this is right, but it does not. It does not.
Because it's not inserting
this
it.
part is wrong. See, it's 14, 15, 16.
So it will generate that number?
It did not generate the number, right? It did not. I have what? I have 16.
Okay, you changed the name over there. All right.
I have 6.
Cool.
Oh, now,
Yeah.
this is the important part. Hold on 1 second. 1 second. So if I do this, invalid, and generate what I have. 16 I have, right? This is what I have.
Yeah.
So I'm doing this, generate. I mean, it didn't go through. Now running, I have 16. Now, this is the part that I want to check in this part. Now it's generating. Before it don't generate, right?
All right. So basically, if any syntax error or any kind of error, it will not insert it in the table.
No, it is not. Okay, it is not.
Shouldn't, Arif, because your table name is different. I mean, you're putting test 1 instead of test 1, you're putting test 11.
No, but so I said before that this is independent. No, this is this part is independent. No, I just want you to understand behind the scene what happened. This is independent. It has nothing to do with this. But whenever you include this with this table, if the whole thing fails, it fails too. This part fails too, right? Actually, wrong was here, not here. This should generate anyway, but it does not. This is there's the constraint that sequence has. Wherever you are using it, if this thing fails, the query fails, it does not generate a new number.
I'm a little confused here, Arif.
Which part?
You have 2 tables here, right?
Yeah.
You have test table 1 and then you have test table 2.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's say test table 1, you have sequence ID generated from, let's say 1 to 17. And then when you run table 2, it generated from 17, right?
No, it generated from 18.
From 18. But since there are 2 different tables, why would it generate from 18, not from 1?
There's the point I'm trying to make, because it is this thing is not connected to table 1 or table 2 or table 3. It's not connected with anything. It's completely separate thing. Completely separate. It's like independent. You can use this anywhere and it's going to create an independent number. Always a unique number. Whenever, let's do this. Whenever I'm starting it, I'm dropping it from the beginning. I'm doing it, okay? So this is what's happening. Say I have 1 here, right? See, I'm using it table 1. Now I'm getting it from a different place. This thing I'm getting completely different place. Okay, this is independent. So here in this one, it already created 1, right? I have 1 here. Now I'm running this again, inserting this value. Now it's 2. So it's created 2 again, done. Now I'm using this. Now I'm using this in a different table, table 2, right? Now that has 2 already there in this one, right? I'm using, see, I'm using this sequence. I'm using this sequence, okay, here. So now next will be 3. So if I insert it here, it's going to give me 3, right? So I have 3 already here. Now if I use it again here in this table, it should give me 4. It should give me 4. See, it's giving me 4. 3 is in this table. So there's that point I'm trying to make. That is independent, table independent. It's a completely separate object, completely. Anywhere you use it, it doesn't matter. Its counter belongs here, not on the table. The counter that I'm using it belongs here. It belongs here, not here, not here. So it's already counted here. I have 4. Now next should be 5. If not, next should be 5. It knows that. Okay, so if I use it here, see, it's going to give me 5. Okay, so I have 5 here already. So if I use it again, next should be 6. Look, it should be 6. So what I'm trying to say, that this counter is not attached here, it always stays here. So whenever you call it, I'm calling it here, right? I'm calling it. Whenever you call it, it will give you the next number, not next number based on this table. Next number based on whatever I have in the origin. It's like, let's say, if you buy a ticket from Emirates Airlines, this thing belongs to Emirates Airlines, not with the travel agency. Travel agency, Emirates. So every time travel agency try to generate a ticket, this ticket number comes from Emirates, right? This sequence ID belongs to an Emirates table, not in a travel table. Travel agency table, I mean, company table. So always, that's why the table ticket number is always unique. It's coming from one place. The ticket generator coming from one place around the whole world. One place. That's from one object. This is what I mean. One place meaning one object. Does it make sense or no? Confused?
Now it makes sense, because it's generating just with the sequence ID.
Yeah.
That's one thing is common there. That's it.
Yeah, it's generating. It's like, let's say, very simple. You are selling ticket, right? You are selling, you have 100 ticket. I'm a travel agency, side business travel agency. If I call you how many tickets I have, you're going to say 100. Sell me 5. Now what do you have? 95. Now if side by call you, how many tickets you have? You're going to say 95. Now side by tell you, you just told me 100. Why are you telling me 95? Because somebody bought it. If side by 5, you have 90. If I call you again, you're going to tell me I have 90 only. Right now, if I tell you, oh, you had 100, I bought 5, you should have 95. Why are you telling me 90? Because somebody bought it. So because this is one place is coming, right? The number is coming from one place. So anybody is using it, it's subtracting that number basically, right? Is subtracting meaning 1 is gone. 1, he cannot do it again, it's gone. 2 is gone. 3 is gone, right? Is giving you number basically. All it does, giving you sequence number. So if anybody use it, is just voiding it from that place. and here again, see, start with 1, I can start with 10, and then increment by 10 of 1, I can do it this, okay? If I do this, look what happened. It will 10
incremented by 10.
Okay. Yeah, look what happened. See, it's 20, 30, 40, see. Okay. So There is some other option also. Write this time down. Please do it a 5 minutes practice. Let's do increment by, and then max value, value 100, and then I put cycle or no cycle, or no cycle. That
okay, max value 100, Aribhai. So it will not exceed than 100.
no, if you put cycle, then it's going to like start over. If you put no cycle, then it's not going to start over. Probably it's going to. Can you practice this one? Do this one. What happens with no cycle or cycle?
Okay.
Just do this practice. See what happens. Quickly, 5 minutes. Let me know when you finish.
All right. So Aribhai, it's giving an error message.
No cycle
Cycle with cycle.
is giving like if you put this. Let's do this. You are saying if we put
So after 100, whenever it reached the max value,
right?
yeah, so it says arithmetic overflow error converting expression to data type integer.
So if you put no cycle, it give you error, or cycle, it give you error.
With cycle.
Okay, hold on.
Whenever maximum value.
Okay, max value 100, and then you put cycle, right? Incorrect syntax near max value. Why incorrect syntax near max value? max. Oops, sorry. Oh, slow. I don't know. It is something like that.
No, you have a wrong spelling of value.
Where?
VA.
Max VA.
Okay, so I created, but if I create with cycle, right? So let me drop it. I create with cycle. So what's happening here, Saidbhai, you are saying? So if I
So
overwriting
yeah,
expression to data type int. Okay, sequence. Okay. No. Yes. 1 second. Let me just check this thing. I need to talk about data type today too. Okay, let me do this again. Sorry guys, 1 second. Create this. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and then 100, right? 100, fine, and then they're giving me an error. Cycle. I don't know, converting to the statement has been terminated. Okay, I don't know why it's not working.
And with no cycle, it's giving error message. The sequence objects sequence seq underscore id cache size is greater than the number.
Yeah. That's it. You mean the cycle with no cycle, right?
With no cycle.
So okay. So but cycle, overflow error or converting expression to data type int. But this message, it should be different message, not should be this message. I have 30, 40, right? So if I put cycle, then it start from 10. I don't know why it's giving. I'll take a look. I don't know why, but it should be like start from 10 again and then starting up to go 40. And then no cycle, if you're saying, then it's giving you not error, but it's not doing anything, right? Saidbhai?
Yeah, with no cycle, it's giving me just saying that command, the sequence object seq underscore id cache size is greater than the number. Then the number of the available values.
Okay, so now I have 10, 20, 30, 40, and then sequencer, it has its maximum. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. This is the thing when we use in try catch block. Remember, we have a try catch. That's the purpose of this. This is the thing, though. Okay. See, as I was telling you, this is a good example just for you to understand. There's some error that is runtime error, right? Whenever happens, you don't know. It might happen, but you don't know. Sometimes it's running correctly, sometimes it's not, right? So this thing was running correctly, then all of a sudden,
right.
So please make sure if they ask you try catch block, you need to explain scenario like this. You need to understand. It's very important to explaining proper scenario. Something is running, and then sometimes something may not run. It can happen in the future. So this is a good example. Okay. So memorize this kind of thing. Okay. But no cycle, I don't know why it's not happening. It should probably the syntax I have to do in different ways. It could be a syntax, need to mention probably somewhere else, something else. I don't know. I will check. Okay. So, anyways, the sequence. You guys understand this concept? Sequence.
Yes.
Hasan bhai?
Yes.
Hasan bhai?
Yes, Arif bhai.
You understand this concept of sequence?
Yes, yes.
Data types, as we did some already. For string character, we use n character, right? N char, right? N char. You can use char too, but in SQL server they use n char. Okay, any number, whatever number you get, and then n varchar. Okay, same thing here, number. Okay, and then another one is called I'll talk about this later. So another thing is this is called string, and then for number we have
Will be int.
and then we have decimal. We have a lot other kind also. Just want you to know the one that will be helpful for you, and if you know this, you know the other things, like say int, right? For example, int you have small int, big int, and then there is a tiny int also, tiny int. Okay, tiny int. All these things. So we don't like need to know all this in details. This is the database developer, when they create table, they know. If we know this is more than enough for us to understand. Especially a new database data type that you can always put it. That's the most important thing. Number, the character number, date. Get date, time, offset. Please write this thing down, okay? It's important. And there is also some other data. Yourself getting some background. Thank you. So and then yeah. Yeah, Hasan bhai.
Arif bhai, আপনার নাম্বারে এখানে কি সিকল ইয়াতে ডেসিমাল ইউজ করা, ডাবল ইউজ করা হয় না?
Decimal. They use decimal.
No double, right?
No double. Decimal.
Okay.
There is some other. This is some of them. Most important one that you need to know to create, to modify table, things like that. But there is some other, lot other. Actually, not a lot other. But if you, let's say, any data type, if you don't know, always Google and find out. But if you know, understand this, you'll understand basically any kinds of data type. P means precision. Please write this thing down, okay?
Okay.
Precision, and S means scale. That actually means after decimal point. How many number I should have after decimal point is decimal. Precision means total number. Meaning, let's say I have a number 3.65, right? This is the number. Now, precision is 3 here, and scale is 2. Scale meaning how many number you have after decimal point. That's scale, okay? And the precision means total how many I have, including the decimal and everything, okay? Okay. So we need to understand this.
Yeah. What's the difference between nchar and varchar?
The difference is here, if you put, let's say 5, you can put up to 5 character, right? Now, let's say you have a column name as a n char, right? N char as a 5. Let's say 5. Now in that column you have a name. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 site, right? Now if you realize you have 4 character here, right? 4 character, but I have up to 5. So 4 character, now 1 is empty here, right? These in the database, it will occupy that space, meaning it will take the memory. It will hold the memory for you up to 5. If you have a name like say 1 character, that's a 1 character, right? Middle name 1 character. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, altogether 5, right? Altogether 5. So it will hold the memory. Does not matter how many you use, it will always hold up to 5. Always hold. Doesn't matter how many you use, right? But if you use a same thing, if you use a bearcat, right? If you use 1, it will use 1, and the rest 4. You have 4 blank, right? It will not hold the memory. It will not hold the memory in bearcat. Variable character, variable. It will vary. Now, if you have, let's say, 2 character, right? So you have 3 more empty, right? 3 empty. It will not hold the memory. In the database, it will not hold the memory. So bearcat and character, the difference is character. It always occupy the place for you. It does not matter how many you use. It will always occupy that many space. In bearcat, it will always occupy whatever you use. The rest, it will not hold any memory. Now, why do I need character? I don't need character. I can use always and bearcat for use this thing. But certain times you 100% know how many characters there will be. Not less, not more. You know for 100%. Let's say state name, state abbreviation of state in America. Always 2 character. Never less, never more. Zip code. Always 5 character, hyphen 4 character. So 9, 10 character. The most it will be 10 character. Never more. You know, phone number, social security number, ID number. You always know for sure. In that case, you can put an character instead of bearcat because you know it will be that, right?
So the name you can put Barcher because you don't know how much how many characters is it gonna be.
Middle name you can put character, right? You can put middle name is always 1. Middle initial, I mean, always 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So in this case, you're saying, let's say I put name Barcher, let's say 50, but what are we telling in the memory? The memory is going to use whatever it's going to use, and then rest don't occupy. Since you put 50, it might not be 50, but don't occupy that memory, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Makes sense? Clear?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Ravi.
Okay. So that's the difference. This is a good question because they ask you in the interview. Okay. Well, what is n bearcat? I mean, what is? They might say just character. It works same way. Just to let you know, it works. If you put character, it's going to work also. Okay. Int, decimal, precision. Okay, is same thing. Integer, like you putting any ID like say integer. Okay, is a number. What is the difference between decimal and integer? Integer does not have any decimal point. Decimal, right? After it will have a full number, whole number. I mean, integer will have a whole number, not a fractional number.
Fraction number.
Okay, and then date. This thing will contain only date, no time. Now, format of the date. This thing is important. Format of the date is this. It's very important for you to know this. Standard format, month, day. It also works like that. You can put either way. Without hyphen, it works also. Without hyphen, you can put hyphen or you can do without hyphen. That's the format of the date. Okay. Okay, let me do this. Let's say I have I'm putting date. Okay, that's my insert into text. Okay, so here let me do this. I'm putting 2016 hyphen 2010 hyphen 22. So I'm creating a table. Right here. I have one column. I have just one column, and it's a date. Date format is this. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. So I have this date. Now, if I don't do this, it's going to do the same thing also. The same thing. See, the format comes in. I didn't put any hyphen here, right? Did I? No hyphen. I didn't put any hyphen here, but it's showing here hyphen because that's the standard format. That's the date format. Okay, that's the date format. It's year, month, day. Year, month, day. Okay. Now time. Write this thing down, please. I forgot to put it in there. See this thing. This is a precision. Time format is this. Hour, minute. Hour, minute, second, dot, decimal point, dot, nanosecond. This is the fraction of a second. It's also sometimes called FS, fraction of a second or nanosecond. Okay. Now, how many precision that will be after second? How many points do you want? That means here. This is the after seconds. Okay. So let's do it in practice. So let's say I have something in time, right? Now here I can put, let's say, I'll show you in different numbers too, So this is the format I have. Guys, stop me if you do not understand. This is important to understand, okay, whenever you'll be working, because sometimes what happens is, the reason I'm showing you this is not our job creating tables, but sometimes we have to quickly create tables to show something in the meeting, in the middle of something that your manager might tell you, or developer might tell you, oh, can you do this please quickly? Let's see, do this. Then you have to create a table quickly and show that this is not working or that is working, things like that. So if you don't know how to create a table, how to drop a table, how to insert the data, how to add a column, change a column, things like that, is a big problem. Okay, it happens in the meeting itself. There is a meeting called work session, meaning in that meeting everybody do some work, like doing actually work. Okay, so they might ask you to do something. Okay, show them, and then if you have to do it, and if you don't know, if you database tester, you don't know how to create a table or insert or changing certain things, is a big problem, very embarrassing problem. Okay, so just to let you know, please make sure you know that. So time, what is the format of time? Hour, minute, second, point, nanosecond, right? That's the format, right? So hour, let's say I'm putting right now, I have 10, and then minute I have this, second, let's say I have this, and then I'm putting 3. That's the nanosecond, after a fraction of a second, right? So I don't need this actually. This is the format I just want to show you, right? So now if I do this, see what happens. See, this is hour, minute, second, point. See, 0.30. Now, see, I put 2 because it's 2 decimal point, right? I just put 1, but it's showing 2 here. See, now if I do here, if I put 5, let's say, what happens? See, it's showing 5 after decimal point. It's showing 5. See this? Now, if I put 1, but here I'm putting a lot, what happened? Look, showing only 1 because is here the precision I'm saying, precision I'm telling 1. I'm not saying all this. Okay, you can do up to 7 though here. That's the standard. Okay, up to 7. Okay, so we need to memorize here. I mean, remember is what is the format of it? What is the format of date? What is the format of time? Okay, and date time is nothing but if you combine them all. Okay, if you combine, date time is nothing if you need to combine. So it's year, month, DD, and then space. It's important to know space. Hour, minute, second, dot, nanosecond. There's the format of date time. Okay, there's the format of date time. Okay, and then date time offset. What does that mean? Sometimes the time zone. If you have, if you see some, let me show you. Select sys dot Time. Hold on, C is here. C is date time offset. Select Y is showing an error. 1 second.
Anyway, it's an invalid column name.
No, I'm getting it from there, no?
Yeah, but it's not taking it as it's taking it as a column name, and it's not a column name.
Yeah, I know. 1 second. No, it is something I'm not doing right. So give me just 1 second, okay? 1 second. Oh, is a function. So that's why. See here. See, this is, as you can see, look, this is the format. 2016, 10, 22, and then hour, minute, second, point, nanosecond. See, after point, how many you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have up to 7. Okay, up to 7. After nanosecond, fraction of second. Okay, 7. And then you have minus 0.4 point. This is called time zone. Okay, wherever my database is database time zone, wherever my database is, this is the time zone. Minus this time zone is time zone format is plus or minus, and then hour and then minute. That's the format. Hour and minute. Okay, I mean hour and minute. Okay, so depends on the where my database is. Database is New York, so this is minus. This is based on the Greenwich time zone. Nothing that actually do a lot. I mean, we need to do, but good to know this.
All right, so
I just want you to know the format, basically. That's all.
okay, so time offset function will bring the time zone also, and if we just do this date time, it just bring the time.
Yes, that's the what we need to know. We have date, which will give us only date. Time is just going to do only time. It's not going to store date. Okay, only time. And then date time is going to do everything, date and time. Okay, and then if we need also the time zone, then we need to use this. This is the 4 things we need to know. One is date, which store. Okay, where is my table that I created? Okay, this is the time, right? So I created this. It works fine, right? Let's say it works fine. So my data type is time here. Now let me do this. If I put the date here, what happened? If I put the date, if I put this date, what happened? See, it's giving me 000. It's not, because the format does not make sense anything, right? So it's not showing me anything, right? See, its format is hour, minute, second, point second, right? So that's why it's showing me this. My time zone, I'm saying time, but I'm putting a date. So that's why it's not entering anything, because it's a different format, right? So if I put time, then I have to put as a correct format. Now if I change it to date, now it should be okay. Now it's giving me, right? So we need to understand this time we use a lot as a ETL tester. It's a lot used in ETL tester. The time functionality, okay, it's a lot we use. Okay, so please make sure you guys understand this. Like format, like first of all, what are the data types in time? We have date, time, date time, and we have a date time offset. Okay, and what are the format?
One more thing, like you created that time in the table, like you inserted the time over there.
Yeah.
So it takes a column name.
I'm sorry, what happened?
It takes str1 as a column name.
This is a column name, yeah. This is the column name. Like I just create a table with a column name, anything like date column. Okay, anything, whatever you want to name it, date column. Okay, there's a column name, so I'm inserting the values here, right here, right. Okay. That's it. Now, I mean, it's very important. Any database data types, the most important is the date data time for us to understand. Like I mean, date-wise, date time, and date time offset is very important because sometimes we get the data from a different time zone. Let's say we are getting data from California, right? It's a different time set, right? So if we import the data, if we get the data from California, it's going to show their time. If we import the data in our database, it should convert it. The time should be converted, right? It should show New York time. So is it changing the time? Whenever we importing the data from California to New York, the time should change. The data date, I mean, the hour, right? Should change. Is it changing? And then also the offset, the time zone, it should change also, right? So is it changing? So we need to make sure that. That's why we need to understand this date functionality a lot, like clear understanding on this one, 100% clear understanding. Otherwise, we are in trouble. Make sense? Hassan bhai, confused?
Yeah. No.
We need to understand this super concept understanding. Please, this format, name, put it in an index card. Trust me, please, guys. I can tell you only how you can learn and use them in future. If you do not, if you write them only in the notebook, forget it. You will forget in 2 days. Okay. And in the interview, whenever you will take the interview, so many things to know before the interview, you'll be lost, completely lost. So please, you need to review every day so that before the interview, you can go watch a movie. Any question on this data type?
It's all clear now.
Clear? What happened, Said bhai?
Yeah, clear. Yeah, I said it's clear.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, once again, just a quick review. So we have n character, right? N char, right? N char with you can use n char, the number, right? And then we have
char and varchar.
This one for character we use, right? Not
Yep,
the character,
that's
right?
correct.
Character. Now and then for number we have
Numbers.
and we have decimal.
And decimal.
Decimal. Now here, this is important for the interview. For us. Sometimes they ask you decimal. What is P means? What is S means? P is a precision. S means skill.
Precision is skill. Right.
After the decimal point, right? And then for date, we have date, time,
date time, and date time offset.
Okay. What else we have? We have B lob. XML. Now here, just for this one, for like say image, sound.
Image and sound.
We have
and
the
other one
for image, sound. Then use this is
large characters.
This means binary. Write it down, please. Binary large object. Okay. This is character large object. Okay. This is XML means XML data type. XML file. Okay. Now character large object means let's say you have an essay or something. Let's say you have an essay or 10,000 character, 10,000 line in, right? Then you use this clock. If you use character or bare character, it might crash in future, right? Like in the chatting room, or in the Facebook or something, they put sometimes big file. So they use blob, right, for image or sound. And then character, if you have a thesis or some like a blog that save a lot of data in their incremental, then use plop. Okay. So just knowing the name is enough. I mean, for our understanding.
Arif bhai, that too, I'm not 100% clear about the
This one.
Blob and club.
Okay.
Blob.
That's a data type. Same like integer, same like decimal, same date, same like is a column.
Oh,
right? Same.
Oh, when you have image and sound, then you put blob, and when you have character large object, then you put club. Okay.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. This is for character also, right? And character.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah, yeah.
This is for smaller. Let's say you have a few 100,000 lines or something. This is like millions of lines if you have. Then what are you going to do? Then you use call. It's like what happened is memory. Nothing different data types. If you realize, it's like memory allocation, right? How much memory do you need to save? That's why. Let's say another thing is also if you want to use order by clause. Let's say order by character. You can use order by character. Is order by, but club you cannot use. If a column is club, you cannot use order by because this is a big set of character. You cannot club will not work on order by. That's why classification works. XML is same thing. XML will show in SQL loader how to load this data. See this picture. Okay, so data type was, if understanding, guys, please over and over and again I'm repeating the same thing. Try to put it in some kinds of note to XML card, index card of things, and memorize these things. Very important to understand the concept. Not only do the work, and trust me, this thing is whenever you do actual work, this thing is super important. Super important. When you use club, whenever you use blob, and all this other data is super important at work as a ETL tester. Okay, so please make sure you understand this completely. Okay. Any other question on this? What happened? Let's look at this. I have a normal table. I create a normal table, right? Column 1. Just name column 1. And then I'm inputting the value 20 point. Let's say I am putting $10.50. Okay. $10.50. I'm putting this value. Okay. So I have $10.50, right? I have $10.50. Now I want to see what is the double of it. So I'm multiplying by 2. Just doubling, multiply times 2, right? I can do this kind of thing in select though. Let's say select, I have 50 times 10. Then look this. If I do this, it's giving 500. You see this? If I do this plus, it's giving me 60. Okay? Then I can do normal calculation in select step. I can do normal mathematical calculation in select. I'm doing this, right? I'm doing this. So I'm just whatever column 1 I have, I'm just multiplying it by 2. If I do this, it's giving me an error. It says conversion failed when converting the empirical value at all.
Yeah, because it's a string value type and you are multiplying it.
Yeah.
So not work for you.
Right. So now let's say I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Okay. Let's say I'm doing this. So it's now fine. See, decimal if I put now is doing this, right? Now, let's go back again. So if I do this, it's throwing an error. It's saying wrong I just want to understand first. He's saying varchar data type this is trying to convert to int, trying to convert, but it's failed.
Yeah.
Because you cannot multiply. Let's say I have a God. I cannot add 2 to it, right? Can I? No, because this is a varchar and this is the integer. I cannot do that. Right? I cannot do that. So it is throwing an error. But if I look at my eyes, I can see no, this is 10.50. It's not a character. It is a number. It is a number. I should be able to do this, right? So it's throwing an error. So sometimes what happens is situation comes like that whenever we importing data from a text file or from one database to another database, we need to convert certain things. Okay, just quick 1 second, guys. Okay, you understand the problem. One, I have this one as a varchar. That's why it's throwing an error. It's just because the data type I mentioned here, but it's actually number. So I can temporarily convert. I can convert this data type from one to another. I can do that. Convert. So data type convert. How do I do that? Data type conversion. Okay. So I have one function is called cast. Another function is called convert. They do the same thing. Okay. Now this is called NC standard, SQL standard. I mean, SQL standard, which works with any database. This is SQL server standard. Just write this thing down. Okay. One is SQL standard. It works with any database. Not with any database actually. Some database may not implement it, but it is standard for database. It may work. This one is not going to work with any database because it's only for SQL servers, Microsoft. Okay, so convert. Same thing. Whatever you can do here, you can do the same thing. Okay, we use cast. That's the most popular one. Okay, so we're going to use cast. Now, if we do cast, how do I do that? Cast. This is the format. Cast. We're going to put column name as data type we want to convert to. Okay, that's it. We're going to put column name and what data type we want to convert. So here I'm going to put this. Select cast and column 1. That's my data column name. As I want it what? Decimal, right? Now let's say I want it this. Okay, right? I'm converting it. Now I'm multiplying it by 2 from test1. See, this is my conversion function. Now let's see what happens. Now it's working. Okay, so I'm just converting this, and this convert does the same thing. The syntax is different. Don't worry about the convert thing. Convert, what it does, it is we want decimal. And then what is our column 1, and that's it. And then we can do times 2 from test 1. Should work. Doing the same thing. Okay, convert. See, convert is, this is the convert, how the convert work. Data type, then comma, and then I'm going to put the column name, and then it's called style actually. Another option you have for date only. For date only. Okay, that's the difference. Like it is giving an external one option. The format actually, style means format. Okay, that's the only difference is convert. Okay, so data type, comma, column name, and then comma format. This is optional. Okay, this is optional. So if they ask you, let's say convert, how do you convert one data type to another using convert, then you can mention that convert, this is how we can do it, but also mention you use cast. Cast is most popular, better to use. It works with, may work with any database. This is will not work with any database except SQL Server, but there may with multiple database. Okay, you understand this is this thing is very important when you do a migration testing. Migration testing meaning you migrating data from one database to another database. You migrating data from one database to another database, and data type may changes time to time. You don't know, so you wanna make sure before you do any calculation or migrating, you just putting the right data type. Okay, that's so. This is how you use it. Make sense?
Okay.
Complicated or easy?
No, but it's clear.
Clear, what kind of clear? Milk type of clear or crystal water clear?
For me, it's crystal clear,
Crystal clear.
but yeah, but mic is on mute, as you see, like a lot of devices. Right?
Yeah, that's fine. I can mute them. Yeah, Hassan bhai, what kind of clear for you?
Yeah, it's crystal clear, everybody.
Guys, data type, I mean, in database, you need a lot of patience, and if you need to like the data, trust me, if you do not like the data, you'll be working with millions of records. If you do not like them, sometimes you'll not believe the certain problems, small problems. Once I fix it, then I realize, oh, it's a small problem. It takes 3-4 hours to fix it, to find it, the solution. 3-4 hours, 2-3 hours. Sometimes it takes. You have to have a lot of patience, and the patience only comes if you like it. Patience doesn't come normally like, oh, I have patience. No, if you don't, patience will come if you like it. If you don't like, patience will not come. So you have to like the data. You know, like this is a programming language. This is completely a programming language. There is no if and but. If you do a simple mistake, whole thing screw up, right? So you have to understand to like know any programming language. You have to understand the concept and memorize the keyword. But you have to understand 100%. If you even do not memorize 100%, still you will be able to perform the task if you have a concept is clear, right? Let's say this thing, data type, you don't know, you need to convert the data type. If you understand concept, you can Google and find out how to convert data type, one data type to another. It will give you thousands of website blogs that will explain to you. You will find the solution, but you have to understand it. That's why it's very important for you to understand the concept. Why you doing, how you doing, when do you need it? You know, those are the things. So, like say very simple. I know that is a you know, like a fraction is a decimal point, but just because data type is different, is giving me an error. So I can easily convert them on the fly, actually, right? On the fly in my select query, I'm converting them. Function I can use in the select statement. Okay, when you do sort procedure and function, we will see that this is a function. This is a predefined function. We can write our own function also. Function you can use in the select statement. In stored procedure routine, you cannot use in the select statement. That's the difference of it. All later on. So clear on this one? Data is called data type conversion. To convert one data type to another data type, we have a function called cast. That's all. Very simple. Cast. What do we do? We write the column name first and what kind of data type we want to convert it to. Right? What kind of data type we want to convert it to. That's very simple. Column name as and then what data type we want it to. That's all. Very simple. And then is giving me from here is giving me the answer, and then after that we are multiplying it. That's it. Very simple. Right? It's clear?
Okay.
Yes, sir. But
Guys, give me like 2 minutes break. Is that okay? 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay?
5 minutes. Okay, that's good.
5 minutes.
I'll
Okay.
do.
I'll be back.
yeah, that no problem.
Okay?
Catchy. Right there, catchy. No. Catchy. Yeah, no. You like this one? What do you mean? I don't know.
Are you there? Are you there, guys?
Yeah, Arif.
Okay, Hassan bhai.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're good on this data type conversion.
No, good.
Okay, once again, this is very important because sometimes they ask you indirectly question. Let's say on the source you have a data type, varchar, but it contains date. In the source you have a column, data type is varchar, but it contains date. Now, how you are going to put that in the target as a date? How you will do that? You know that you're going to mention that I use the data type conversion using the cast function. I'll do that. So make sure you understand this. Okay, that's what I'm saying. It's not directly question what is cast function. No, they will. I don't think ever ask you that. Indirectly, they will mention how do you do that. So as an ETL test, that's a very important functionality. Data type conversion itself. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. One thing logical. Okay. Query. Logical query processing. What does that mean? Like how the database, like the SQL server or SQL developer, retrieve the data from the database. What is the sequence? First we write what? Select, right? First select, and then we have column name, whatever. Then we put from, right?
Yes.
Select from whatever table name. And then we have where clause, right?
Yes.
And then we have group by. And then we have having if we need, right? Then we put order by. Order by is the last always last. Remember, order by is always last. There's the sequence, right? We are clear on this. Select column name. Let's say very simple. We could do like this, right? Select and then column 1, right? From test 1, and then where call 1 is equal to whatever, okay? And then group by call 1 having count greater than 1 order by, right? That's our basic sequence, right? We put select from where group by having, right? That's it. Clear? Now this is how we write it. This is how we write it in the editor. Editor meaning SQL server, this one, right? Or SQL developer, whatever, Toad, whatever, right? This is how we write it. But in the database, actually what they does, first they do this from, they check the from, and they do where. Okay, first they do from, then they do where, and from where, and then they do group by, and then they do having. Let me do this. I'll explain more. Don't worry, guys. Just let me write it down. Group by. Okay. Having from group by having, and then they do select, and then the order. Now here's the thing. This is our standard how we write it. We put select from where group by having order by, right? But in the database, in the query itself, first thing that they go from what are the tables we are using? From meaning table or view, whatever, right? Or materialized view. Whatever the table we are using, do they exist or not? That's the first thing they do. And then where meaning filter. They filter the data. First they check the table name, view name, or materialized view. Then they filter the data. Where meaning just filter them, right? Filter the data. Then they do group by or having if it is existing in the query or not. Then they do select. From there, after from the table, after filtering, right? Then they select, right? Once the select is done, then they do order by. This is what they do. Then they do the order by thing. Let's just quickly do one thing. Select all from person dot here. I think there is a table like that. Let me see here as well. Person dot person. I think there is a table. Okay, there is a table. So if we do this, if you realize, let me just for our understanding, I'm just selecting what column? First name and last name. First name and then last name. Last name. Okay, there's the two column I'm selecting just for Okay. Now this is how we wrote it actually, right? Select, from, and then where, right? We can use where also. Why not use where? Guys, give me 1 second. Okay, let me just organize it so that we can. What else we have? Person typing. Okay. Where person type is equal to. I don't know what that means, but order by one person. Okay, let's just do this, see if this work. Person type, right? Group by and since group by and having are common both, let's not worry about it. Okay, that's a sequence of it. Now this is what we have. Now, as we said, it's important to understand. Is in the interview they ask you this question. Actually, they ask you a different question, which I will explain to you. But for us, we need to understand this. So we have select and then from, where, order by. So whenever we run this query, this is how we write it. First thing they go check if the table exists or not. That's the first thing they do. The table exists or not. Right there they go. They don't care about this. In the database, they don't care. What we put here, they don't care about it. First they do this. Go right here. And then once that is done, they filter. They filter the data. From that table, they just filter. If there is a where clause. That's it. They filter the data. And then once the filter is done, right, then they go to select. Then they select this thing. Okay. So up to here, if you realize, up to here, you have all the column. Up to here, you have all the column. Here, you have all the column. Here, we have 3 column here, right? No. You have all the 7, 10 column. We have everything is here. Now, after that, here, once we come here, then we select only 3 column from that. Okay. And then once we select, then we use order by clause. Okay. Now here, if we use, let's say I have a column ls, I can do fn, right? I can do ln, right? Person pt, person type, right? I can do this. Now I'm ordering by first, this one, right? I'm ordering by first name, right? So I'm doing this running first, fine. Now this is a first name column ls, I change to fn, right? I can put that fn instead of first name. I can put fn here, right? Order by. See, it's working fine, right? Fn I put because I changed the name. Now in the where clause, let's say I do this. In n, I put first name. I put, let's say this one. What is the first name? Let's say I'm filtering also this where clause. I put this. Why? No, I don't need to do this. It's already there. Okay. So here, this is what I have, right? Person name is equal to this. Where clause. Now, if I run this, it works fine. Now in the where clause, if I do this, in the where clause, instead of this, if I put this, what happens? I'm putting this. Okay. Column ls, is it running? No. It's saying invalid column name. How come it's invalid? Tell me. Is there? So why is saying invalid column name? It's there. Because why? Look, first thing what they do, this is the number 1 thing they do, right? It's number 1. And then this is number 2, right? And select is number what? Number 3 is select. Number 3, select. So when this is number 1 is correct, I'm here. Number 2 is this, right? Number 2. So they even does not know this thing yet. They don't know this thing yet. So number 2, you are saying column alias, but they did not do it yet. Computer didn't even go there. So it does not know that this means this. It does not know that. But
doesn't exist yet.
Yeah. So this is number 4, the last, right? So see, you can use here same thing like column alias, I mean, right? You can use here because when you come here, they already finished this. So they know that first name is FN. Why? Because order by at the last. So before order by process, they already finished this. Whenever they finish it, they're renaming this, right? Alias means just renaming, temporary rename. So they're renaming this, right? So I can, the order by I can use this. I can use ln. Let's say I'm using ln. I can do this, right? But in where I cannot use, because whenever I'm using where, the computer didn't even go there, right? Didn't come here yet. So it does not know. If you do not execute this, how do you know that person type or PT is the same thing? How do you know? You have to run this one first, right? Whenever I'm using where, I did not run it yet. I didn't go there. So that's why I don't know. So that's why in order by clause, you can use the alias. In order by, you can use the alias. But in where, you cannot use the alias because whenever the computer is processing this part, whenever the computer processes this part, they did not process it yet, right? It's led after or where clause. So that's why the computer doesn't know this one exists yet. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes, Arbe.
Is very like what they do is sometimes they ask you in the interview.
This is very in depth, Arif Bhai, because all this time we were selecting, I didn't, not knowing that from is the first is checking the table, and all this. It's interesting.
Yeah. So that's why in the interview they ask you column. They will say column alias. You can column alias, which is this. You can use in the order by clause, but in the where clause, can you use column alias in the where clause? No. Why? Because logical query processing. You have to explain because of the logical query processing. Although in the editor I put select from where having group by having order by, but actually in the database behind the scene, first they process from, then they do where, then group by having, then order by. So whenever they're processing order by, the select is already done. So in the order by, we can use the column alias, but whenever we are processing where clause, the select is not done. So once the select is not done, I don't know the column alias yet. To implement the column alias, I have to run the select statement. But when I'm using the where clause, the column alias is not implemented yet. The select clause is not done yet. That's why in the where clause, I cannot use the column alias. Make sense?
Yes.
Guys, it's very important. Like I said, what happened is the interview 3, 4, 5 people, right? Now, why they are going to put you in a different bucket? Why? Because of this concept. If they ask you the real interview, if the real people does it, who really knows how to interview, they will ask you conceptual question like that. Okay, so that they want to know how depth you know, because the more your concept is clear, the solution wise you can solve better solution. That's the reason.
Arif, I know it's personal question. How did you came to know this thing? Because I took class in database class in college once. You can teach it didn't lot of stuff you teach them, but I know they don't.
Yeah, like Arif, that's the first time I'm also hearing that concept.
No, it's just studying. What I do, I read articles like blog. I read articles. Like what I do actually, I print whenever I leave from work. Usually I print something. It doesn't have to be database in general, anything. like computer related, like say testing related, like SDLC, ALM, or whatever, or a real issue, things like that. I just Google it, and then I print out one page, let's say, and then on the train it takes more than an hour for me, on the train. So I read it, whatever I can. So that's a practice that I maintain always. I try to read in the travel time. It could be a regular novel or some things like that. And I have index card. I'll show you. It's in behind. I have index card. You guys see, I think right there. I have certain things. I have index card. So this thing I also put in my pocket. So just reading the article, you happen to know this kind of depth thing, and it's very interesting. Like I said, once you have, let's say, the reason I'm explaining to this thing as an example also, to have you go behind the scene, so that you have your interest grow on this thing. If you know how this thing works, not like solving the problem, like knowing, going in the brain itself, that will probably grow your interest on this. That's why. So that's why just read article, blog, people blog. You find this thing. It's like real people talking, things like that. So okay, we are okay on this.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So like I said, the question is not like, what is the logical query question? It's not like that. It's like, if you use order by clause in LIS, you cannot use it here. Why? These are the things, they might ask you. And always try to put this kind of information, if you can, in other question. If they ask you something like that, similar, that you think you can input this there, try to input this thing, not this in specific, like anything, if it's related conceptually, is a depth, then try to explain to this thing. One time I remember they asked me a question like, function wise, do you use in order by clause function? Like say you have a column name, right? Say order by, I'm putting here order by, I'm putting first name, right? First name. Now, if I use this upper, right? If I put this, it's fine. I can do that, but I should not if the data is a lot of data. Why? Let's say this is an index I have behind the scene, I have a table, and this column is indexed. Okay, this column is indexed, right? So now, if I use any function to a column that is indexed, if I use a column that is indexed, and if I use a function for that column in where clause or order by or where clause, anywhere, if I use here also, then the index drops out. They don't use the index. So if I use a column in the where clause or order by clause, right, and that column is indexed, I should not use any function to it. Why? Because then they are not able to use the index. The function cannot use the index. So if they cannot use the index and there is a lot of data, it gets slow. Index, the purpose of what? To make it faster, right? That's the whole thing. Organize, right. Make it faster. You have millions of records and using where clause. Now in the where clause, if you're using this column is indexed, this column is indexed, but since you are using a function, this index will not be used. You will not use the index. So this is the purpose. Okay. So those are the things that you try to use whenever is possible. Clear on this one, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what else? So I have this table still. Okay. Branching logic. We did case statement, right? Remember we did case, right?
Yeah.
We are good on this case.
Yeah, we did.
We have if else, and we can use while also. Okay. Guys, I know it's over 11 o'clock, but we didn't start the class 8 o'clock, so that's why I'm going a little over. So okay, so bear with me a little bit. So if else, okay, this branching logic really means like you have a sequence, you can skip it, or you can like same thing like case statement. If you have this, do this. If you don't have, if you have this, do this, or do that. That's the case statement. Same thing with if else. So now let's say I have this select all from person table, right? Person, I think. Person. Right. So here what I can do, if else. This is the format of if else. If you put condition. Okay. This is the condition you put. If you put a condition, and then statement, okay, statement, and then else, and then statement. That's very simple. That's the block. Please write this thing down. Okay. So if just you write if, and then you put a condition here. If the condition true, there this happens. Whatever statement you put here. If the condition is not true, then this happens. Very simple. Now this thing is optional. Else.
Is there any end in it or not? Like at the end of the statement, did we put end?
No. Just if else.
Just if else. Okay.
On case you have end. On case statement.
Yeah, but usually in programming languages we need to put the end also. That's why I asked.
Yes, and also in programming you have else if.
Yeah, else if, right.
Else if. But here it's just if and else. Okay, that's it. So first I'm going to write if. I just put a condition here. Okay, I don't need a bracket. I put a condition here, and then I write a statement. So if it is true, then this will happen. If it does not true, then this will happen. If it does not true. Now, like I said, this is optional. Optional meaning if I don't put it, nothing will happen if this is false. That's it. Okay. Very simple example. Let's say I'm declaring a variable. Let's say declare I int. Okay. And then set net I is equal, let's say I put 1. Okay. So I'm putting if at I is equal to 1. I'm putting if, right? Then I have to put here some statement, right? And then I put else. And then I put some statement. So now here some statement I said, right? So let me write it down. Try to be lazy. Statements. And here I have to do some statement. Right? So here, if I do this, let's see if it's work. It works. Okay, so if this is true, let's say I'm just doing print condition is true. Just writing something. And here I'm doing print condition is not true. Just to see where the block is. Now here, just this is my variable. Okay, guys, this is how you declare a variable. You just put declare and then @ sign, variable @ always @ sign, and you have to put the data type. Regular data type, whatever we have, same thing. Okay, and then we're going to set whatever the value of this one. So I'm saying if it's 1, then print this. If it's not 1, then you print this. So let me run this whole thing.
The statement is true.
It's true. 1. The condition is true. It's saying true, right? Let's say I'm putting 2 here. Okay. Now what's happening?
It's false.
It's not true. It's coming here. So all I'm saying, if it's true, is doing this. If it's not true, is doing this. That's all. Very simple. What else?
Yep.
Okay. This is useful, like let's say if you have a stored procedure, and then based on the condition you have like say 2, 3, 4 stored procedure. You want which one you want to execute? Which one? You have a stored procedure, right? So based on the condition you want to execute this or that or that. There's if else statement is very important on that. So like I said, it's very simple conceptually. There's if you know understand this, that's all it matters. That's this part. That's all. So you guys wrote it down, guys. Make sure you have it written down. Okay, it's important. That's
All right.
so you have if condition. That's all. There is no condition after else. Okay, this thing. That's it. So as I said, this is optional. So if I don't have this event, still is going to run. It's not going to give you anything. See, it's running, right? Because it's not doing anything. It's false. And if I do this, it's true. Then it's doing something, right? Okay. This is one thing. Another thing I wanted to talk about. While. While is same thing. I mean, not the same thing. Similar thing. If you realize, while is it's running a block of code multiple times. I mean, running a block of code as long as the condition is true. It runs a block of code as long as the condition is true. While this is the syntax. While condition, and then you have statement. Statements. That's it. You're going to put a condition. If the condition is true, it's going to keep running this whole thing. It's looping it basically. Okay. So let me see if I put this at I less than is equal to 5. Okay. I put here, this is I put, right? I put 1. Now I'm putting here I less than is equal to 5, which is true, right? So I'm putting here, I'm putting print at I. Okay. If I do this, I just let me print I at I. Okay. And then I'm doing set at I is equal to at I plus. Guys, if you guys don't practice it, you'll forget. Okay, just to let you know. So let me just do this and what happens. It keeps running. It's infinite loop. 1 second. It's not even going there. Hold on 1 second. Something wrong I did here. If it's true, then I know what's happening.
Aribhai, you put less than 5.
No, but I'm also incrementing here, no?
Yeah, you're incrementing it.
Fine.
No, I was trying to do something actually, but that's I mean that's okay. But I was trying to do something. 1 second. So this less than 5 is fine. Should I put it in a block? Block will not work. So now that's 1 second. So what's happening is it's running it because it's true. It's running. It's fine.
क्या बोलूं?
Okay. So if I do this, So it ran 5 times. Now, if I do this, it should be 10, right? What did I do here? I still an error. Oh, what? Okay, guys. So here, look. Same thing like before. So this is the variable I have, right? Now, this is my condition I put. If this condition is true, it's gonna do this one, keeps looping basically. It's gonna do this part that, as long as it's true, it's gonna run it that many times. Once that is not true, it's gonna come out. Let's say this one, if I put 1D, it's not gonna run.
For me, it's working. The thing is, like, it's just printing the last value.
No. That will do. That will do. But there,
Like, it needs to print like in a loop, right? So it needs to print like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So that will I'll know. Hold on here. This I want to do print before and then I can do add I. This one I can do print after. Okay. Now that will throw in another error. I know. Let's see. It's supposed to throw an error probably. See here, converting varchar value before and after. See what happened, guys? Tell me what happened. Tell me here.
Conversion fell when converting the varchar value before date type.
That's important. We just talked about it. You need to understand this.
It has a converting issue over there.
What? How can I solve it? Tell me, how can I solve it?
You can cast it.
Which one?
Let me see.
Cast which one?
Like the one.
This is varchar
before. Yeah, the one before.
So this one.
Before and after both, you need to cast it.
No, not yeah. So here, this one, I'm converting as varchar, right?
Yeah.
Right? And varchar I'm putting, doesn't matter what, right? Right?
Yeah.
So I can do the same thing here, right?
Same thing on the before one too.
Right? Guys, understand this part is important thing. Now I'm not putting it right? Now my condition is less than, let's say I'm putting it if it was 5, right? If it was 5, after it's full, so it's looping it, right? It's the block that is looping, right? Looping is adding 1 every time it's running, it's adding 1 to it, and once it is 10, it's not running it anymore. Once it is 10, it's not running anymore, it's existing. It just
but I think the thing is, like, what I was thinking, like, what the result which I'm trying to get is like it print everything after increment. Is there any possibility of that? I know that at the back end it's doing it.
Yes.
Like it's incrementing at back end, but it's not printing it. You got my point, right? Like
yes.
If it's in a loop,
that I
need to put and yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like if we need to go through with it.
Yeah, I understand your point. Let's see if it works. Set this and then print. I got your point at I. This is what you want to do, right? Basically, we can. This is what we want to do, but it's set one drawing. It's throwing an error. I know you want to print all of it, all the I value.
Yeah, all values like so.
Yeah, yeah,
If it's incrementing, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 like that.
yeah. We should be able to do it. Definitely, there should be a way to do it. If there is a no, probably this is some doing. Hold on, I understand completely side to your point. We should be able
Like
to.
similar as a programming language, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
when
No, no,
we
I
do
understand.
a while loop over there.
So if I
So it usually print
bring
each and everything.
right, but it does not go. What happen is, if I do this, it is not going to the third line. It's just from here. It's looping. Do you understand? But if I do this, I understand your point. What we need to do, but it's not happening. See, if I do this, right, it's looping. It's not. It's going here up to here. It's not coming here. But we want to do this, and then going back to the next one. After printing it, then add it up. So it's showing everything. 5-1. Give me 1 second. Yeah, side by like, give me 1 second. Okay.
Sure, take time.
Yeah, we should be able to do it. It's a good thing. No.
Arif bhai,
Yes.
I'm just gonna step out. Okay, so
Can you
if
give me
you're
5
gonna
more minutes? I'm stopping it right there. Can you give me five
okay,
minutes? It's okay.
yeah, I just
5 minutes. Because this is an important. This is an important point that he made.
Oh, okay. Aribay, I was checking
We can
it
do
out.
one thing probably. Let me see if this thing works. Otherwise, I will want to browse. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
One thing. I don't know if it's going to work. Print this, and then we can put set add I is equal to add I plus 1. Let's give me 1 second. If this work, that means we are good. Yeah. Okay, we are good. See, this is very important, side. Thank you. So this is what happened. Hassan bhai, please, this is concentrate on this one. It's very important. Okay. Now, but while low, right? I have a variable. I put a value. I put here 0. Okay. Now I'm saying just this is the block of code. How do I make a block of code? By put begin and end. That's the whole block. That means whole block. Before was just doing one line because I didn't put this one. So if you put this, that means this is the whole thing is going to run. If this is true, the whole thing is going to run. Okay. If I put another 10 line, it's going to like execute all this 10 line. So if this is true, it's going to do this whole thing, right? So if I run this, it's giving me, see 0 because it's starting with 0 and then up to 9 because I say less than 10. So when it becomes 10, it does not run, right? When it becomes 10, it does not run. Now if I do this here, print at I, see what happens here. Just print at I, right? So see now I should see 10 here also. See 10. This 10 actually coming from here, right? Coming from here because once
once the loop is completed, right, then it's printed.
Right. So we are good on this one.
Yeah, Aribay.
Arif, can you change the top I equal to 20?
Yes.
I think it should run, right?
If I do no, then it's not going to run. It's going to show you this. It's going to print only this. It's going to show only 20.
20.
Yeah. 20. Yeah. Make sense?
Okay.
Okay. So I never able to finish the pen task. So not tomorrow. So next Saturday.
Next Sunday, Aribay.
Oh, sorry. Next Sunday. You guys don't want to do Saturday? Saturday no good?
Yeah, for me, like as I already told you, that next Saturday will be the last Saturday. Then I have the work in the mornings.
Oh, okay. So after that you'll be working Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're
morning.
working the Saturday.
Right now, yeah, right now I'm still working on Saturdays, but I work leave for work like at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
But from November, I'm like moving in the mornings, so that's why.
Okay. So tomorrow we'll not or don't have class, but Saidba, I need to talk to you for like 10-15 minutes. When is a good time?
Yeah, I'll give you a call like around 9 or 10.
Anytime tomorrow, anytime, call me. I need to talk to you about your resume a little bit. Okay, I'm working on it. I'll talk to you. I'll give you the resume tomorrow. I mean, by next week, and Hassan by also. Okay.
Okay, man.
By like
You
next.
are home, right, Arif bhai?
What happened?
You are home.
Yeah,
like,
I'm home. I'm not doing anything. Guys, I'm home. If you guys are free, call me. If you need to discuss anything, I'm not doing anything. What happened is we are almost done. I just want you to put a free extra time because we don't need today's class anymore. We don't. It will be waste. Okay, let's say today, the information I gave you is way more than enough for you to practice, plus doing the previous thing, plus practicing SDLC, Unix, ALM. You have to do all these things also, and database is ongoing thing. We have to do a lot of other thing also, in database, but you guys have to practice a lot also. This is what I'm saying. Okay, so if we take a solid 3 hours class a week, it will be enough going forward, and I want to continue until you get a job. Okay.
Okay, Arif bhai. So I will I'll call you to discuss something about the things like that.
Okay, guys. So that's it then.
Okay,
That's it. I'll give you a call in the morning.
Yeah, tomorrow. Okay, guys. So
Wake up like I'll give you a call in the morning, and then we will discuss like.
and also another thing I told you before, you can call me, text me anytime, whenever.